I feel like teachers take you more seriously if you complain about them. If you're like, look, I have good grades, I'm well behaved, like whatever, you're not just like some like kid who doesn't care about like class and school and whatever. Like, look, I'm in my senior year of college, I have a 4.0 GPA, and I'm still mad about how this teacher treated me. Hey, what's up you guys? So today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me, and I'm going to be telling you guys a story of the teacher who did not give me a hall pass. So, here we go. So, I think we've established on this channel already that I hated high school. So, I have a lot of stories from high school that I want to tell, maybe just during like a get ready with me, about all the things that I hated about high school. Using my MAC Prep and Prime primer. This is almost empty, so I have to like squeeze it in a kind of like weird way to get it out. Ugh. It's like almost empty, but every time I squeeze it like really hard, I can get some out. So, this was in, I believe, 11th grade, and this had to do with my physics teacher. So, let me just preface this by saying, I like this teacher and I like this class up until this incident happened. So, here's what happened. So, I missed a lot of school in 11th grade due to health things. 11th grade was the year I found out that I had anxiety, and before we jumped right to anxiety medicine, we wanted to check like my blood work and like my numbers and like whatever else to make sure it wasn't something else causing these anxiety symptoms. I don't know. So I had like doctor's appointments and like stuff like that using my Touch and Soul foundation. And of course I missed school for kidney stones. I missed school on like the first and second day of my period because my cramps would be so bad that I would faint. And I think I also might have had bronchitis that year, and I missed like a whole week of school. This one particular day, I had physics first and second period because, at least in New York, we have to submit labs to like New York State for like, I don't know, proof of physics. I don't know. Like, it's just what you do in science classes in New York. You have to complete these labs to like learn science. I don't know. So we had 2 periods for science, but it was like alternating. So first period on one day would be gym. First period on another day would be science. So it would just like switch every other day. And that's like normal for my school. I think that's pretty normal for like all the schools in New York, or at least all the schools when you have science class. I don't know. So anyways, this one particular day, I had gym first period. And I also hated gym. I think most girls hate gym. Like, what girl wants to play gym with all these aggressive guys just like going crazy? Like, no. Not into it. So, this one particular day, I had gym first period, and luckily, we had a yoga unit. And let me tell you, that was like the only gym class I ever enjoyed because, like, yoga. So, I had a girl gym teacher, and that was awesome because she was like super chill. And I think she knew that the girls were not interested in playing things with the guys because the guys were really aggressive. So we had yoga, and basically what we would do is we would get a yoga mat from the pile of yoga mats, and then we would take a spot, spread out, and then my teacher would turn off the lights and then turn on a like projector and then project like, it wasn't like a YouTube video, but almost kind of like the same idea as that. So somebody was like demonstrating yoga poses, and we just follow that for like the whole gym class. It was great. I loved it. So now I'm taking my loose powder from this brand that I don't know what brand this is. I'm gonna set my face. So this one particular day, how many times have I said that? This one particular day, I go into school and it's like gym class, first period, whatever. And I start feeling that I'm having cramps from my period. And normally I would have stayed home if I had known. But I didn't know, so I went to school. And something about my school that I think is really super annoying is you're not allowed to carry medicine. It doesn't matter if it's just like Tylenol or Benadryl or like what. You can't carry that. For whatever reason, I don't know. I think that's a stupid rule because a lot of girls need to take pain medicine for their cramps, because I know for me, the pain gets so bad that I'll faint. And this is another story, but it was either 9th or 10th grade, I was in orchestra and I had really bad cramps and I almost fainted, and they had to call the nurse and bring a wheelchair down and wheel me to the nurse because I felt like I was gonna faint from my period cramps. And I know a lot of girls have that same problem. So I think that's a stupid rule, but whatever. There's probably a reason for it. So I was like, okay, whatever. We'll just see how bad it gets. So go to gym class, do yoga. You know, that's a good thing to do if you're like dying. Not like you're not running across the gym doing all these dumb exercises. Whatever. I hate gym class. Now I'm going to take my bronzer from my Z palette. There's a giant chunk of my blush. I'm just gonna pop that back in there. Shh. I'm gonna take this bronzer, and that's gonna be my bronzer. And then I go to physics class. And this particular day, we were working on a lab. And I don't know, there's like a certain number of labs you need to complete to like graduate. I don't know what that number is. We always did more than was required. But this one day we were doing this lab about circuits. So like electricity and light bulbs, and there was this board and it had, I think, like 4 light bulbs, and we needed to like turn different switches and make different ones come on and make different ones go off, and like this whole thing. I don't think I ever finished that lab. But the way physics was set up was there would be 2 lab tables next to each other, facing each other, and I was in a group with 3 other girls, and we would all work on the labs together. So it wasn't just like, here's all these light bulbs, good luck. Like, we had people we could like work with and like whatever. And now I'm going to take my blush from my other Z palette, this one right here. This one is going so slow and I'm getting really tired of peachy blush. But it's in my project pan, so I just want to keep going with it. But you can get carried away with peachy blush very quickly. So, talking about school is exhausting just because I just hated it so much. So, now I'm going to take my highlighter from my other Z palette. I'm gonna take this one right here, which is technically an eyeshadow, but we're using it as a highlighter because we're weird like that. So I'm like sitting at my lab desk thing, and we haven't started the lab yet. This is The Brow Gal by Tanya Crooks, current favorite. We hadn't started the lab yet, and it was more like my teacher was going over like what exactly the lab was about and how to do it and like the instructions basically, but the way my physics teacher taught was kind of like, he didn't really teach us like the whole unit and then give us the lab. It was kind of like he integrated the stuff from the unit with the lab, so we learned like the information by doing the labs, kind of, if that makes sense. So we weren't really that sure what we were doing. And I think my teacher said like, you can just like, it's trial and error, just flip switches and figure it out, like whatever. So my eyebrow looks so dark, even though I feel like it's not dark like in real life. I don't know, whatever. This is my normal brow pencil. I don't know why it looks so weird. Like, doesn't that look really dark and really weird? I don't know. I'm like about to finish 2 of my classes for college, and I think my brain is just mush at this point, honestly. So, and now I'm talking about school and just making myself even more stressed out. School has just bad memories. Bad memories. That looks really dark, but I promise you, in real life, it does not look this dark. I don't know why it looks so dark. I don't know. Then I'm going to use my GimMe Brow from Benefit. So he was going over the instructions, kind of just telling us, like, whatever. But it wasn't just like, okay, for 5 minutes go over instructions and then set you loose. I remember we were sitting there for a really long time listening to him talk. And I don't really remember about what, because I was sitting there being like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm going to die. Because I was in so much pain. I'm going to use my e.l.f. eye primer. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm trying to decide, do I feel like I'm going to faint? Am I getting to the point where I feel like I'm going to faint? Because the goal is to not faint, like actually faint, and then like hit your head. I've done that before. I've fallen on the floor at the dentist. I've hit my head on a desk in 6th grade when I fainted. Like, the goal is to not actually faint so that you don't like hurt yourself. The goal is to do something about it before you actually faint. So I'm sitting there trying to determine, is my pain bad enough that I think I'm actually gonna faint? And slowly but surely, I was getting to that point. I could just feel that I was getting to the point where I was gonna faint. Because you guys know me from watching my channel. I faint quite a lot compared to like normal people. I don't know. I just faint because my body just says, I'm out. So, you know, I've thought about this before. That's a bad feature of me. Because if we were back in the time of like survival of the fittest and like, you know, like the strongest survive and the weakest die off, if something stressful happened, I would just get eaten by a wild animal because I would just faint. There's no fight, there's no flight, there's just faint. Like, give up and die. So, that's great. Okay, I think I'm going to use the Coast to Coral palette from ColourPop. I bought like 17 palettes from ColourPop because they were having a sale. So, I've been using a lot of ColourPop lately. This makeup look is totally not going to match anything I'm wearing, which I'm like totally fine with because at this point I don't care. I'm wearing a black shirt from, it's R5, who, they don't even exist as a band anymore, but I'm wearing green pajama pants and I'm going to do a peachy eye look. I don't even care. So, I'm going to start with this shade called Anemone right here. I've never used this palette before, so I'm excited because I love peachy eyeshadow. So I was sitting there thinking, do I think I'm gonna faint? Like, so this is my crease and outer corner color. And I determined, yes, I'm getting to the point where I'm gonna faint. So I think I should go to the nurse before something happens. So I raised my hand in the middle of my physics teacher talking about whatever he was talking about with circuits. And I asked him, can I go to the nurse? And he was like, yeah, I guess. Like, first of all, what kind of an answer is that? Like, sorry, I'm trying to make my camera focus better on my face. I have really strange lighting because it's like, I don't know, like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so the sun's kind of coming in from a weird angle. What kind of an answer is, yeah, I guess? Like, what? So I was like, well, bye. So I packed up my stuff, and I got up, and he's still talking. And I go to his desk, and I'm like, can I have a pass? Because we have hall monitor people. We have desks in the hallway, and people sit there, like, I think it's just like teachers who don't have a class that period sit there in the hallway, or staff, I don't know, like people, just whoever is available, I guess, sit there, and when they see a student walking in the hall, they're like, hey, where's your pass? Because you're not just supposed to be in the hall for no reason, causing mischief. So, oh, that's beautiful. I love peachy stuff. So, I walk up to his desk, and I'm like, hey, can I have a pass? And he's like, no, just tell them I sent you. Now, let me just say, we have these specific pieces of paper to write a pass out on. Like, we have these little pink slips of paper that are pass slips, and it'll have like lines to fill out, like student name, teacher name, classroom number, period, time, and then a line for teacher signature. And that's ideally what you would write out a pass on, but like, it's not uncommon for a teacher to not have those for whatever reason. Maybe they ran out, maybe they just didn't get them from the office. But all the time, teachers would make out a pass on a scrap piece of paper or on a sticky note or on anything really, and just sign their name and say, that's good enough, here you go. So, the whole, just tell them I sent you, I was really unhappy. So obviously, you guys know, I have an anxiety disorder. So as if I wasn't anxious enough, now this man is not giving me a pass, and now I'm anxious as heck that someone's gonna stop me and be like, hey, why are you in the halls? Like, and get me in trouble. Like, whatever. Let me tell you, I was so mad. I was so mad. Now I'm going to use the shade The Keys, which is this shade right here. It's a shimmer. And that's going to be my lid shade. So, I was really mad because there was no excuse for him to not give me a pass. He just didn't want to. And this is my opinion. This is my opinion on that. I feel like he was trying to make me feel bad or give me a hard time just because I had missed so much school. And I don't know, I feel like maybe he thought I was trying to get out of class or whatever. And like, whatever, I don't know. But I know that teachers give people a hard time who miss a lot of class, because there are a lot of people who do miss class just because they don't want to go or they're cutting class or whatever. And this actually happened to me in 12th grade, where one of my English teacher, he would stand outside his door every day, and he was always very on top of who was absent and who needed to show him a pass from the office about being absent the previous day. And this one day, I showed up, and he asked me with literal attitude, "Oh, do you have a pass? Why were you out yesterday?" I remember I had sass when I responded, which I was always the quiet, shy girl in school, like never got in trouble, like nothing, like scared to death because of course I'm anxious. But I remember I had sass in my voice this day because I was just so mad at this teacher. And I was like, I was in the hospital for a kidney stone, like. And the expression on his face immediately changed because he knew how horrible that was. And I was like, yeah, feel bad for me. I didn't say that, but I wanted to. So, like, teachers do act a certain way to students who are absent a lot, and they just don't know the full story, and that was the case with me. Like, I wish I had had the nerve to stand there and, like, either demand a pass from him or wait there until I fainted and fell on the floor, and then he had to deal with me. Like, honestly, because I didn't think that was right, and I'm still mad about it however many years later, 5 years later. I'm honestly still upset and mad about that. So, I went to the nurse, and if you go to the nurse, at least in the high school I went to, you get a piece of paper and you, like, fill out, like, a form of, like, why are you at the nurse? Like, and basically, if you say, I have my period, they'll just be like, do you want to go home? And you're like, yeah, and they'll let you go home, which is awesome, because the nurses get it, obviously. Maybe my physics teacher just didn't get it because, you know, he's a man and he doesn't get periods and he doesn't understand how much of an inconvenience it can be and how painful it can be, and that I really could not sit in his class for the rest of class because I was gonna faint. So, I have many teacher stories of just upsetting things that happened in class. Oh, I should tell you what eyeshadow I'm using. I'm not actually using an eyeshadow. I'm using a highlighter from the Anastasia Moonchild palette. I'm using the pink shade, which is Pink Heart. Oh, see, that's why I'm filming on the floor, because the sun. I'll show you, like, an up close when I'm, like, done. But I had always liked my physics teacher up until this incident. And if I had told my parents about it, they probably would have written a note to the school or whatever, complain about it, whatever, but I didn't say anything because, again, I was an anxious teenager who was just scared to death. And you know, if you, like, complain about something, then you're always scared, like, are they gonna then, like, is the teacher then gonna treat you bad, or, like, I don't know, because they're mad at you? Like, I don't know, so I didn't say anything. But I wish I had. And the funny thing is, my mom actually knows my physics teacher because she worked in the lunchrooms, and my physics teacher would always come down and get ice, I guess. So, like, all the lunch people always knew him because he would come and get ice. I don't know why. We never had ice for anything that we did, so I don't know why, but anyways. I'm going to use this Ulta Brow Highlighter stick. It's my brow bone highlight. What I've been doing lately. Oh, look how, like, pretty that makes my eyes look. Like, they look so light. Ooh. I used to have, like, hazel eyes. That's what it says on, like, my state ID. I don't have a driver's license because I don't drive yet because life. But I do have a state ID, and on my state ID it says hazel for eye color, but I think my eyes are green now. They definitely changed color. I don't know. And then I'm going to do eyeliner. I'm just gonna take this one from Urban Decay. It's just black. I think that, okay, there are a lot of kids who do skip and cut class because they don't want to be there. But I think that teachers should be nice to at least like the quiet kids who are absent a lot, because like me, I didn't want to get in trouble. I didn't want to do anything bad. I was just missing a lot of class for whatever reason. And because other people cut class, then I got treated worse because that's like the usual thing and they don't want to encourage that. But I don't think teachers should be so judgy like that until they have the full story. So, I don't know. I might send this video to my past physics teacher and see if he responds. See if he wants to say anything about this. I think that would be interesting. I kind of want to do a bunch of story time videos about my teachers. This doesn't have a mirror in there. That's really annoying. And then send them my story time and see what they have to say, if anything. Because I had a lot of issues with a lot of my teachers, but obviously I didn't say anything because I'm this quiet, shy girl who didn't want to get in trouble or anything. Oh my gosh, I can't. I'm trying to peel the thing off the mirror, but I can't. And I just need a mirror so I can do my mascara. But I would be very curious to see what my physics teacher would say. Like, I don't know. Because I liked him. He was a nice teacher, except that one thing that happened. I was very upset and didn't like him for the rest of the year because of that. But, I don't know. Comment down below if you've ever had anything like that ever happen to you. And, like, what was your experience? And even, like, okay, this was another thing that happened, not to me, but to another girl who was in, like, a similar situation to me. This was in 12th grade. And this was in, like, economics class. There was this one girl who was, like, shy, quiet, like, good student, like, whatever. And she missed a lot of school because she had anxiety. And she went to talk to the teacher before class because if you're absent, you gotta, like, get what you missed or, like, whatever. Or arrange to make up, like, a test or quiz if you missed that. And our teacher was just being very rude and very mean to her. And I felt so bad for her because I could relate to what she was saying. She was basically saying that she missed school. And, okay, the teacher asked her why she missed school. Which, first of all, I feel like that's none of their business. That's between the student and the person at the office who takes their note of why they were absent. I feel like that's none of the teacher's business, honestly. So you shouldn't ask that. It's not your business. And because, okay, what if it's like, oh, my mom died? Like, yeah, you want... Anyways. So she asked her why she was absent so many days. She was explaining that she has really bad anxiety and she's been trying to, like, figure out a way that she can, like, come to school and whatever. And she's been, like, working with, like, the guidance counselor at the school and, like, trying to get a therapist and all this stuff. She was, like, actively trying to, like, figure out what to do in this situation. which I completely understand as somebody with anxiety, because one of the things that makes me most anxious is school. And maybe it's because all my teachers acted like jerks. Not all of them. There were some teachers that I really, really liked. But teachers are supposed to make your life easier, not harder. So, this teacher in economics was just, like, giving her crap for it. And, like, if that had been me, I literally, now, okay, this would be something I would always be so scared to do, would never think of doing. But if this had happened to me, I would have been so mad that I would have walked out of the class, gone to guidance, talked to my guidance counselor. Like, if I had told my parents that this thing had happened to me, that happened to this girl, they would have, like, either gone directly down to the school and yelled at them, argued, asked to speak to the teacher, gotten her in trouble, and switched me to a different class so I didn't have to have that as my teacher, because I think the way that she acted was unacceptable. She was like, you can't make excuses. Just because you're anxious doesn't mean you can miss school. Like, so many kids now, so many teenagers especially, have mental health issues. And I don't think teachers should just be acting like, oh, that's not a reason to miss school. She's trying to figure out what to do, how to survive. And I know, at least for me, before I was on medication for my anxiety, school felt unsurvivable. So I get it. I do get it. And maybe this teacher had never experienced anxiety before. That's what it seemed like, because she had no sympathy. And I felt so bad for this girl, because she was treated like this, and I felt like that was unacceptable. I'm trying to decide my lip color. Here are my options. I pre-picked out a few different shades. Don't think we're gonna do this one. So it's between these two. This one's like a gloss. This one's more like a liquid lipstick, I think. I think I'm going to try this one. I've never tried this one before. This one's Ola Neon Velvet Liquid Lipstick. I always like to smell them because sometimes they smell like sweet. Look how pale my lips are, oh my goodness. Oh, it feels very smooth, which I like. I did such a bad job, oh my goodness. Because my frickin' mirror is so far away. I don't know, hopefully that looks alright. So, if you guys are interested in hearing more of my teacher experience stories, I'll throw in some good ones. There were definitely some teachers that, like, I loved to death. Like, some of them broke my heart, honestly, because some of them would tell us things from, like, their personal lives, and killed me, honestly. So, if you would like to hear more teacher stories, comment down below. Do you want to hear the good ones? Do you want to hear the bad ones? Do you want to hear both? Let me know. I have lots of them. But this was just the one that I thought I would start off with, because I've just been thinking about this lately, and just thinking about how much it bothers me. Like 5 years later now, you know, I'm in my senior year of college. I have a 4.0, like, I'm a good student, and I'm mad that I got treated so horribly in this one circumstance. I don't know. I feel like teachers take you more seriously if you complain about them. If you're like, look, I have good grades, I'm well behaved, like, whatever, you're not just like some, like, kid who doesn't care about, like, class and school and whatever. Like, look, I'm in my senior year of college. I have a 4.0 GPA, and I'm still mad about how this teacher treated me. So, hopefully that has more impact to it. I don't know. But that's my story. I hope you guys enjoyed. I forgot to set my face. Hold on, one last step. This is from Pixie. Rose Glow Mist. Gotta shake it up. And I'll show you my makeup really quick too. We gotta get like, is that like good lighting? Here we go. My coral peachy eyes. I guess it's more coral than peach. I feel like peach is maybe lighter, more pinky than this. I don't know. But thank you guys for watching. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Oh, now I'm never gonna get the camera back to how it was. Leave me a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button, turn on my post notifications, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!